It's funny, isn't it? When you go to a country that you don't know much about, you take with you your expectations and all the hearsay that you've seen on social media or heard in the news. We went to the USA for 24 hours, and I'm not going to lie to you, we were a little bit nervous because she could have been so surly. She could have just been like, take them out, I don't care, take them out. But she was so polite and so nice, and she was like, I'm really sorry, I know this is a pain, I know...
I just have to rewind you a bit there.
Why?
Because she wasn't.
Yes, she was.
No. Because first thing she said to me was...
In this week's episode, we're going to share with you 4 things that we discovered about the USA, and we're here to share them on the internet so that you get a different perspective about what life is like in America. It's a Drama, coming to you from Taranaki, New Zealand.
Hello.
Daddy, I love him!
Mother thanks you.
All right, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up.
Hello and welcome to the It's a Drama show. I'm Liz.
And I'm Brian.
And we're back this week to share our story of our return back to New Zealand via 24 hours in the USA, 24 hours in America. Some things that we discovered that we just want to talk to you about.
Yes.
So if you are new to the channel, thank you so much for joining us. We're Liz and Brian, husband and wife. We live in New Zealand. We've just been to a Canada for a month-long fantastic trip. You can go back and listen to the episodes about that. And getting back from Canada to New Zealand required us to go through the USA. And we just came across a few things that we jotted down as they were happening to, of course, to come back to New Zealand and just tell you on the podcast because
There'd be nothing else to
we've
tell
got
you
no one
otherwise,
else
would
to
there?
tell.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
exactly. We're just like, oh, phew.
Just alone here in New Zealand, all by ourselves.
So let's jump on in. The first thing that we discovered about America, and I don't want to say I'm embarrassed to share this with you because I'm being honest. I'm being completely honest. And I think when you're being honest with someone, you can't be embarrassed because that's your experience.
I don't think it's so much an embarrassment. I think we're not particularly political, are we? And I think that's what we're
definitely not political.
We're about to say is, you know, you do hear stuff going on and the whole country is falling apart and all those sort of things.
So here's the thing,
Yes.
right? We left Canada to drive to a city called Spokane. I think that's how you pronounce it, or Spokane, or Spokane.
Spokane, as in like cocaine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not like cocaine, but Spokane, as in spoke on a wheel on a bike. And we're driving along and the scenery, we leave Canada, we come over the border, we go through the, you know, where they check, have you got anything, have you got any drugs, have you got any guns?
Have you bought anything in Canada that shouldn't be coming into America?
Yeah.
Okay.
Got any money?
Grizzly
We're like,
bear?
yeah, I wish we did,
Yeah.
yeah. It's funny because Sonny, our son, was in the back of the car and he said, why did they ask you if you've got any money? And I'm like, I don't know.
Have you got
I honestly don't know.
Have you got more than $10,000? I'd like more than $10,000,
Yeah.
please, but no, we haven't.
Yeah. So anyway, we crossed the border and we're now in America. And the reason I say I'm a bit embarrassed to say this is because I don't know enough about America to have such a great opinion on it. Do you know what I mean? I don't, like other places we've been to in the world, like New Zealand, I can talk till the cows come home, the UK, Canada even. But America, we don't know that much about it. We've been to America, but anyway, all that to say, we're driving along and the scenery is just beautiful. We were going along through mountain roads and
It was freezing cold, snow on the sides, snow on the roads and stuff like that. It was beautiful, wasn't it? Like, you know.
But it seemed very, very desolate. There was hardly any other cars coming the other way. It was just really, really quiet and almost like eerie because we'd go through these towns and we weren't seeing many people. It's probably because it was freezing cold.
Yeah, everyone's inside.
Everyone's inside, yeah. But in my mind, in my news-fed brain, I start thinking as we're driving along these roads, I'm thinking Thelma and Louise, you know? I'm thinking, I wonder what it would be like if you broke down in the middle of this area, you know, on these roads. I bet it wouldn't be safe because, I'm sorry, America, but we hear stuff about, how people drive around with guns and there's a lot of gun crime. And I want to be careful what I'm saying here, but you know what I'm saying, don't you? So
Yeah, but that's the perspective. And we didn't see any beavers neither.
No. And in my mind, I was thinking the news, the films, like I bet everyone that comes along is just like got a gun in their car and, you know, like stashes of money and stuff like that. Anyway, we're driving along with the kids, and like I say, it was freezing cold, and we had, how long did it take to drive to Spokane?
It was about 4.5 hours, depending on how long you waited at the border and stuff like that. But we'd had a quick breakfast, but we were desperate for a drink.
Tea, for a coffee.
Yeah.
And we just kept saying to the kids, we've got two kids that were traveling with us, 20 and 23, and we were saying, if we see like, a Starbucks, we'll pull in. Well, there was absolutely... That's the first shock, actually, because I thought everywhere in America had.
You imagine you're going to see more towns, but there wasn't a great deal. There were, on the map, it showed towns.
Yeah.
Or settlements or whatever they were, but they literally were just a settlement.
Yeah.
It was worse than going through Bennydale.
It really was. It was just really, really quiet. I wish I had I wish I could explain it better to you. Like, if you imagine a film of America and you see, the drone shot comes out and like everything's covered in snow and everything's really quiet, and then you've just got our one lone car driving along the road on its own with 4 flipping naive Kiwis sitting in it going, oh, I bet everyone's got a gun, and we're driving along, and all of a sudden we see this little caravan at the side of the road in this like parking lot thing, didn't we?
Yes.
So we pull into this parking lot where this caravan is, and when you're sort of like you're a bit, you don't know the area, you don't know the country, you're a little bit, well, what's this? Like, because back home here in New Zealand, you have these little coffee carts and they've got the windows open and it's all, to go in and have a cup of tea. And that's what this looked like, only the window was tight closed and it had a sign on it saying open, but the window was shut and I could see that there was someone behind the window, but they weren't like hanging out of the window and going, oh, hi, welcome, So in my mind, I was thinking, that's because they think we've got a gun.
They're come to rob me.
Yeah, that's because they're scared to open their window and talk to us, because here in America, everyone's got a gun and everyone's terrified.
But she probably did have a big gun in there or something like, you just never know, do you?
Well, so here's me making up this pathetic scenario in my head, thinking I'm living in this bloody Thelma and Louise-like story where everything's dangerous and exciting, when really life is quite boring. We pull up, we get out of the car, the 4 of us, and we're all like shifting over, ooh, what's this? What? Waiting for Ma Baker to open the window and just hold her gun out to us.
What do you want?
And this window slides open, and this lady behind the counter, poor thing, just looked flipping freezing. She had this hood on, I think, if I can remember, with all fur around, and she just looked like the kindest, like if Father Christmas had a wife, which obviously he does have a wife, but I can't remember her name. But if Mrs. Christmas was real, which obviously she is, this lady looked like her, and she opens the thing. She went, I'm sorry, excuse my American accent now, because I know that you all pull me up on my accent. She goes, I'm sorry for keeping the window closed. I'm so cold in here. What can I get you? That's just...
I know.
It was just, like, phew. And so that was our first encounter in America.
But do you know what? She probably looked at us because being a Kiwi, obviously, and a UK, I'm sitting on the wrong side of the car. So naturally, when I went in, say this is the caravan here, I pull up to it next to this, so you can
order from your window.
Yeah, and so straight away I got it wrong because I was supposed to come in the other way, but in the middle of the car park was a big frozen
sheet of ice.
Yeah.
You did all the skidding.
And it was just like, so that's what everyone was doing, was driving around the puddle to come back around to the caravan on obviously the left-hand side of the car.
Yeah.
So that's what she was looking at us so confused. Why have they all got out the car?
I know. Yeah,
we'd all got out the car just to stand up because we'd been in the car for 3 hours or so.
Yeah.
And it was freezing, wasn't it? Like, we weren't really dressed for it because we were dressed to be in an airport, And
the thing with America as well is maybe it's all like, no contact. What's that thing called? Where you
contactless
just,
type thing. But you literally wind the window down, 2 coffees please, and then wind your window up, sit with the heater on. But we'd turn the car off and everything. And then someone else turned in and realised, oh, that's how you're supposed to come in. And now I'm thinking, he's now going to try and get in front of me.
Well, he might have a gun.
I started to turn around in the car park, got back in the car and tried to turn the car park around. Anyway.
Do you know what? We wanted to tell you this because here's the thing. We have done so much traveling in our life. We've done masses. You know, those who follow the channel will know how much traveling we've done. And sometimes you go to a country that you haven't been to before and you hear all the hearsay that give you an example. We went to Japan. Before we turned up in Japan, people told us, oh, the Japanese, they don't speak any English. You're going to really struggle at the train stations.
Yeah, everything's in Japanese.
Everything will be.
Yeah.
We went there for a month and couch surfed. Every single family that we couch surfed with was Japanese, and every single family were just gorgeous. So that's one example. So if anyone tells you don't go to Japan unless you speak Japanese, that's rubbish. And, you know, like India, they said, oh, you're going to get really sick, you know, you'll get Delhi belly, you'll get this, you'll get that. Again, utter rubbish. I mean, it was just bad advice. And I think with America, and we're sort of saying it tongue in cheek, but when you don't go to America and you don't live in America, you have an impression of a country, don't you? And everyone, I'm not saying everyone, but the sort of general consensus is, you know, the country is not happy, doesn't feel safe. Yeah. And I'm just telling you the truth here. This is what's filtered through to us. And then you go there and you see it for yourself, and it's just like, you're just a lady running a coffee wagon who's cold and has closed the window. You're not standing there going, what do you want? Like, have you come to rob me? Or I need protection? Or I don't know. It was just such a breath of fresh air to be able to see it for yourself, you know.
Well, there's always isolated incidents, like there is everywhere.
Well, someone's mowing our lawn for us.
Next door neighbour's mowing the outside lawn. Hello, John. There we go.
Oh, that's nice. They mowed our lawn.
They mowed our, but that's not what our mailbox is.
But
I think they know when we're doing a podcast because they just get all the lawnmowers out.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Oh, thank God for that. It's broken.
Anyway, yeah, so that's that. So that was the first thing. That was the thing about we turn up and it's not what you think in your mind always. That's what I'm trying to say. She was just the most wonderful, kind lady. So number 2 thing that we discovered, and we're staying with this coffee wagon and the coffee lady, I have never in my life, I don't know if you have, in all the places you've travelled, I've never seen so many coffees on option.
I think what it is the flavours of coffees that you can get. Obviously, it's just flavoured syrups. Keeps. You might not hear it properly. If I get enough voice isolation, or you won't hear.
Come on, say what you've got to say. What about the syrups?
The syrups, that's what they are. It's just the flavoured syrups that they put in the coffee. But none of us in our family like sweet coffee, do we?
Well, Sonny does. He loves it.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he was going through them all. He was like, oh, I could have a mochaccino, I could have that, I could have peach flavour, I could have
caramel,
lychee flavour.
Salted tea,
caramel
whatever it is.
And chocolate. Honestly, I mean, again, you know, don't you? Oh, Americans, they do everything better.
Everyone's got their own
bigger.
thing, haven't they? You know what they love.
Right, she's just a lady, but she's a lady in a caravan at the side of the road. Where's she stuck in all that stuff?
It's in
Where
the bottles.
Are all those syrups? Well, she must have millions in there.
Yeah, there was. It was like a bar.
Yeah.
It was like a bar in there. It's like a cocktail bar full of syrup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many flavours. So that was the other thing. And the next thing is on her board, she had like a toasted sandwich. Only they don't call them toasted sandwiches in America. They call them, what do they call them? Not cheese toasty. You know, Brian?
I don't know.
You do. Cheese. I'll take a cheese.
I'll have a... Is it cheese?
No, know. I'm sorry, I don't know the word, but it's like, it's not a cheese toasty. It's
a bagel.
No, it's a toasted cheese thing, but they don't call it cheese toasty, and I can't remember the name. So now I'm an idiot. But anyway, they do these toasted cheese sandwiches. I'm going to remember in a minute. And they also do bagels. Yeah. And the bagel with cream cheese, I think it was only about $3.
Do you know? Yeah, well, I don't even think it was that. I think it was like $2.50 or $1.50. Well, actually, I think we've got a bit of B-roll of the actual thing, so I'll zoom in and see how much it was. Because I was shocked at how cheap the things were. I know American dollars are more
Grilled cheese.
Grilled
There you
cheese.
go.
There you
Grilled
go.
cheese.
I'll have the grilled
I
cheese.
know. It's funny, isn't it? When you don't think about it, it comes back to you.
Yeah.
Grilled cheese. I like that. I like that better than cheese toasty.
Yeah.
I'll have a grilled cheese sandwich.
Grilled cheese sandwich.
Yeah, a grilled cheese sandwich, please. But yeah, so
Yeah, with 2 cheeses. What are the cheeses? Cheese and cheese.
so we ordered a bagel and a coffee, right? And you know when sometimes you just pull up at the side of the road and you think you're willing to compromise, aren't you? Because I mean, you're not going to have the full kitchen back there. It's just going to be you and your little toasty machine and a bit of rubbish cream cheese that you're going to spread on really thin, and then you're just going to give it to me because you know you're never going to see me again because I'm driving to Spokane Airport.
Yep.
Anyway, she takes her time, which I knew was a good sign because I thought, oh, she hasn't just whipped it out of some pre-made rubbish.
Yeah, it's not come straight out the freezer and into the microwave and cling and then into the toaster for 30 seconds,
No,
like, you know?
she took her time. And when she handed it over, it was wrapped in tin foil, aluminium foil, for those who don't know what the tin foil is.
Aluminum foil.
Yeah, and inside was a hot toasted bagel.
And it was not just any bagel, it was an everything bagel.
Yes, everything bagel.
Yeah.
Wasn't it, Bri?
Well, and I said, what's an everything bagel? And Tesco's, it's got everything in it. I said, well, it's just cream cheese. And she went, no, it's got onions, garlic, all the stuff.
The bagel.
The bagel itself
an
is
everything
baked,
bagel.
isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah.
That's the deal. I was thinking, oh, well, just cream cheese, isn't it?
Tell you what, I've never been so happy. She handed it over. She was the nicest. She's like, oh, you have a good day now. And here's the other thing as well, because I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh, she's only doing it because you've got to give her a tip. No, because on the end of her counter was a little jar thing,
yeah.
and it said, tips are appreciated.
Yeah,
But
American Express accepted.
So it was, I don't know, she was just so lovely and so welcoming and so friendly. And she gives us these piping hot coffees. We had Americanas with steamed hot milk and steamed milk, and these bagels wrapped in these aluminium foil. And when I opened it up, it was like all steamy, the bagel. And there was a little pot, your own little pot. You know, we're not bothered about waste. Well, your own little compostable pot of cream cheese, wasn't it, Brian?
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
there's
knife.
a little knife,
A little plastic.
a wooden knife.
Oh, was it wooden, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
A little wooden knife, because obviously the environment.
Yeah.
So I can't tell you how happy I was that I made Bri turn the car around.
Yeah.
1, we're not shot. 2, we can have as many flavour coffees as we want. 3, best cream cheese bagel I've ever had.
Yeah.
Thank you. Little
It was a
wagon.
breath. It was a breath of fresh air.
It was.
It really was.
Before we jump into number 3 and tell you about our other thing that's surprised us about the USA, if you're watching this and you see this beautiful mountain behind us, we are sitting in Taranaki, New Zealand. Now, a lot of our American audience, a lot of our Canadian audience and our UK audience want to know more about New Zealand. To let you know that we have got a free 5-day video guide sharing some aspect of life in New Zealand. Every day for 5 days, we share a little video of what life is really like in New Zealand. So if you would like to know what life is like in New Zealand and want to know more about the country, sign up by going to
www.itsadrama.com/ILoveNZ.
and we will send you a video every day for 5 days, absolutely free, showing some aspect of life in New Zealand that you will not find on the internet, because me and Bri made it.
We'll see you there.
Okay, back to the show. Now then, we're staying on the subject of American people because
Our 24 hours in America.
24 hours in America, because we get to Spokane Airport.
Yes.
And we were flying from Spokane to
San
Francisco.
Let's go here.
Now, we get to, this has never happened to us before. We get to the check-in, and how many kilos were we allowed?
We were allowed 23 kilos,
Yeah.
which is 50.7 pounds.
Yeah.
0.7 of a pound, whatever that is.
And there's 4 of us, and we had 4 bags.
Yep.
Now, 2 of the bags are way under, and 2 of the bags were over.
Yeah, well, yeah. 2 of the bags were over. The other 2 bags were about right. They were just on 49, 50 pounds. Mine was 54 pounds.
Yes.
Because I'd bought some barbecue parts for my Canadian barbecue, which are difficult to get in New Zealand.
Yeah.
You know, just off the shelf. And I just thought,
Bit
why
bad,
I'm
isn't
here?
it, when you've got to go all the way to Canada to order your parts for your barbecue because you can't
So
get it in New Zealand.
It had put it overweight by, so whatever. But it was, and she. Anyway, I'll let you tell the story.
Well, no, because the story was that she said, your bags are overweight. She said, your bags are overweight. She said, so I'm really sorry. You're going to have to either open them all and distribute the weight evenly, or you're going to have to take something out and leave it.
And put it in your carry-on.
Put it on your carry-on. Well, we couldn't take the barbecue parts out.
No, because
because
they were like burners, which was stainless steel burners and sort of drip plates and things.
Yeah.
So I didn't really want to take the chance of going through security and going, no, that can't go.
But do you know what, Bri?
What?
I don't think you acted very fairly, because you knew that you had those barbecue parts in your suitcase, and they were made of metal, so they're going to be heavy.
Yeah.
And the lady behind, this is my point about what we discovered, because she could have been so surly. She could have just been like, take them out, I don't care, take them out. But she was so polite and so nice, and she was like, I'm really sorry, I know this is a pain, I know...
I just have to rewind you a bit there.
Why?
Because she wasn't.
Yes, she was.
No. Because
What?
first thing she said to me
Yeah.
was, oh, this one's overweight.
Right.
And she said, if it's £1 overweight, it's $200. That was the first thing that she said.
She didn't say like that.
Yeah, and it's like, and it's $200 for the flight to Spokane to San Fran, and then another $200 to. It's like, really? Because it's £3 over. £3 over.
That's the rules. She's just doing her...
£3?
Yes.
$200?
Yeah. And
Really?
The £3 is from your metal barbecue parts. But that's the rules, Bri. That's her job.
It's not the point.
It is the point, actually.
Yeah.
So,
and here's the other thing that pees me off with the airlines is you've got a 7 kilogram weight on your carry-ons, okay? And they don't even weigh them.
They're going to start doing that now.
They might well do, but it's still going on the plane.
What do you mean?
Well, my carry-on bag
Yes.
ended up weighing about 15 kilograms in the end.
Why? Because you're carrying the barbecue.
All I had in my
Should have whipped it out on the flight and fried a few sausage fry.
what I had in my original carry-on was ski boots. And we got rid of those in Canada because they were too old, apparently.
Disintegrated,
yes, and yours fell apart. So I'd put my ski helmets that I'd bought in Canada in the carry-on. So it was always light as a feather. But I had to then repack my bag and take clothes and jackets and things out.
Oh, and didn't you make a song and dance about it?
Oh, well, it's like, you have to take something out and then you have to walk back over, put it on the weighing machine, and it's
but at
like, I'll
least
go back, take some more out.
Yeah.
I mean, luckily it was quiet.
What?
But if it had been busy, it would have been a nightmare.
I know, but what my point is, the point that I'm saying is, she could have been a right old cow and just said, I don't care. You either pay the 200 or you're not flying.
Yeah.
But my point was, she was really nice. I don't care what you said. She was nice, Bri.
I just think she was splitting hairs, really, because I don't care
just
what
doing her job.
baggage handler you are, because they don't really lift the same bags as that much these days. But if I gave a bag that weighed 50 pounds and a bag that weighed 53 pounds to a cargo handler, he wouldn't know the difference. It's not like, oh my God, it's not. I could understand if it was 60 pounds
Do you
or
know
something
what?
like
When
that.
we were going out when we flew to the UK last year, and I was stood next to the Air New Zealand desk, and there was a guy. Oh no, it was when we were going to Fiji. That was it.
Yeah.
We were going to Fiji, and there was a guy with his family, and he must have had about 10 million surfboards, kite flying, surfing things, water ski. He just looked like he had a shop with him, an outdoor surfing shop. And he said to the woman on the desk, Air New Zealand, he goes, do I need to, shall I wear? And she went, nah, go on.
I know, but it's like, you've got to look at it, haven't you? Because the next person that comes along, has got a little bag. So whatever they've gained on that, they've lost on that one, like, you know.
You should have just said to them, excuse me, mate, can you just take my barbecue parts? But anyway, so Bri gets all the bag out and he's like, oh, this is just ridiculous. This is how $200, I've never known such rubbish in all my life. No one was even listening, no one even cared. But the lady, I just thought, see, that's where me and you've got our wires crossed, because I was on here bringing positivity about the lady in America.
You see, well,
Because Bri, she could have just gone, I hate to say it, but I've got a feeling if that was in the UK, it would have just been like, you know, computer says no, you know, that sort of thing, like, no, sorry, no. But she wasn't being like that. She just said, I'm really sorry, I know it's a pain, and, you know, obviously she was American, and she just said, just take some things out of your bag, and if you could just weigh it, you're welcome to come up and weigh it again and see how heavy it is. And anyway,
I think she just knew she was being silly, that's why.
No, she didn't. She was just doing her job. Because what you've got to remember, Bri, is her boss, they might be doing a quality check at the end of the day, going, right, how many bags did you put on? Let's have a look at your weight. Oh, she's let through someone with 10 million barbecue parts in there. That shouldn't go through.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I just thought that was really nice of her.
Some companies that you can fly with, this was United Airlines that we were flying with, and
What do you think of United?
just all right.
I've got a story to tell you in a minute.
Just all right.
Just all right? Why?
They were just all right.
There's no pleasing you.
It's.
Do you
just,
prefer China Eastern, where you didn't get any wine or beer?
That's a bit shocking.
Exactly.
Yeah. China Southern was good.
butt your
China
mood
Eastern.
up.
Yeah.
United, I thought they were good.
Yeah, they're all right. They're all right.
Do you know what I like about the United? I like the staff, and here's the story
Yes, I
I'm
do
going
like
to
the
tell you.
staff.
This is flipping hilarious. I've
Apart from on the check-in desk.
I've never seen anything like this in my life, and I just thought, I love Americans. I love you. We get on the plane, right? We're flying, and at the back of the plane now is a steward,
This is on the Spokane San Fran flight?
Yeah. There's a steward, and he's flipping gorgeous, absolutely lovely, hair gelled back, eyebrows plucked, just gorgeous man you've ever seen in your life. Like, just stood there like this, looking at everyone getting on. He looked like a model. And it's all changed now, isn't it, with the air stewards? Because this is what I was saying to Tess. It used to be when you flew, they couldn't do enough for you. It would be like, hello, welcome, you know, like, can I take your bags? Here's your seat. But now it's almost like they stand back, wait for you to make a mistake so they can tell you off.
Yeah.
You know, like, that bag doesn't go in there.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is not negative, this is positive.
I've got some negatives, don't worry. They'll come up next.
That's not on the list, you're not allowed to say
Don't worry, I'm going to.
Anyway, this guy, I just caught his eye, and he sort of like looked at me like this. And he must have been in charge, like, you know, he must have been the one that was making the announcements. And we got in the plane and we put our bags, and, you know, like, you know, you're ramming it in the overhead, aren't you? Because you've got, like Bryce said, he's carrying 30 kilos of weight in his 7 kilo bag, but you're ramming it in, and the rest, if you can't, like, I can never fit my bag in the top, so I always use my bag as a footstool, you know, like I push it under the seat in front, and then I rest my feet on it. So I've got like
just like first class, isn't it? Then?
Yeah, and then it's like first class.
There you go.
Honest.
Yeah. Not Scumsville.
Anyway, we're sitting there waiting to take off, and he's behind us on the tannoy, like, you know. And he goes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to United. You know, this flight is from Spokane to San Francisco, wherever we were going. And he just goes, can I just say the bags in the, and he's looking down at my bag, the bags in the footwell there, they need to be underneath the seat, ladies and gentlemen, underneath the seat in front. Because you know what, if this plane goes down and you're running for your life, you don't want to be tripping over your bags that are in the aisle. And I'm like, it just cracked me up. I was just like, as soon as he said that, I just wanted to just go and hug him. I was like,
I know,
thank you for making it so real.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
because
sure.
I've always wondered, why do we have to stick our bags underneath?
Yeah, so they're not flying around all over the place, isn't it?
Exactly, but just the way he said it, he was so dramatic and so like flamboyant, and just, oh, he was gorgeous. He was absolutely gorgeous. So to the guy that was on that flight from Spokane to San Fran, I just loved it. You should just be made, They should, like Air New Zealand, do these little videos.
Yeah, they should do the safety video.
Yeah,
It's like,
put him on it. He was absolutely brilliant. So yeah, just wanted to say, loved that about America. Absolutely, such a good sense of humour. They really have. It's just
saying it as it is.
So dry like that,
Yeah.
and I loved it. So yeah, brilliant.
Staying on my gripe about overhead lockers. Do you know what? United Airlines and most other airlines as well. I know you're not going to listen to me because you're going to go, oh no, because that's the way it is, that's the way it has to be. But if you're ever near the back of the plane and you get back there, because you're always allowed on last for some unknown reason now, it should be the other way. The back of the plane should get filled first and then work the other way.
Yeah.
Obviously first class have got to go first class because they've got loads of money and considerably richer than us.
Yeah.
But what it is you get near the back of the plane and you go open the locker and it's like, oh, this one's reserved for United Airlines. And you're like, well, I'm on United Airlines. Oh, no, it's got a special key in it for the staff to put their own bags in.
Yes.
Well, they're not sitting in seat 75, are they?
Keep your voice down for a start because you're getting a little bit irate.
So what's all that about?
No, Bri, it's the overhead locker is for
It's for the people on the plane.
The dinghies.
No,
when you
it's not
jump out.
It's not the dinghies. They're on the escape hatches.
Oh, are they?
And then the one opposite is the first aid kits.
Oh.
It's like, I'm sorry, but come on.
It was really funny. It was really funny because on the way over there, like I say, air stewards, they used to help you, but now they don't. They just wait for you to make a mistake so they can stand and tell you off. But this woman, she was like pulling this locker open, wasn't she? She goes, there's a black bag, and she was reading the name of it. There's a black Nike bag here. If it doesn't get, if you don't come and get it and put it into the locker properly, then we're taking it off and we're going to check it in. We're checking it in.
No, you
and
won't.
This guy pipes up from the back and he goes, feel free to check my bag in.
That's because everyone was getting pissed off. It's like the people at the back of the plane were having to go halfway down the plane to put their bag in.
It's not the same anymore, is it? It's not the same when you fly.
No.
It's changed now since COVID and all the rest of it. It's changed.
It
and
has.
you feel like you're a pain in the neck when you're flying.
You do.
Apart from the man who
that tray up.
says that nice thing.
Yeah.
I know. Well, it's just, do you know what it feels like, Bright? It feels more real.
It does, but it feels us against them. And it used to feel like you're all in the plane together and you're just over there. They're going to serve some drinks and things like that. Make it all a little bit calmer.
Yeah, I don't think it feels like us against them. I feel like it's almost as if it's a bit of a pain in the arse that you're on this plane. Like, what are you doing? Like, oh, really? You want to be on the... Okay, get on then, quick. Put your bag away, quick. Don't get your overhead locker closed. What do you want to eat? Well, chicken, well, there isn't any left. What else do you want? You know, it's like that sort of thing. Or maybe it's just the airline that we fly with.
I think that's what it is. Because
Bajito.
Especially if you're near the back of the plane. It just happened to be, I don't know why we're at the back of the plane, but hey, they run out of the food. So by the time they get to you, you've been hearing them saying chicken or pasta, chicken or this, or fish or this. And it gets to you and it's just like, chicken?
I know.
And you go, and? Chicken?
You're waiting.
What is it? It's just chicken. What do you mean? Is that what you got left? Yes, chicken. Thanks.
I'll
have the chicken then.
I'll tell you a funny story before we go. We're going to go now, but I'll tell you a funny story before we go. So that was our thing about America.
The only reason why you loved that air steward was that he gave you extra biscuits.
He did. He gave me a pack of pretzels and I was acting all coy, like, you know, and I was like, excuse me? And he went, yes. Where'd you get your eyebrows done? And I said, could I have another bag of pretzels for my daughter, please? And he went, for your daughter? And I went, yeah. And he went, would you like one too? I mean, they're like this. I mean, you know, I'm like begging. I know I've paid $7,000 for my flight, but can I have a bag of 39p pretzels, please? Yeah, he was lovely. He was absolutely lovely. Anyway, what I was going to tell you is we'd left Canada freezing cold. You don't know about this. I'm just letting you know on the podcast.
Let these people know that. I don't know this.
We'd left Canada freezing cold, bundled up. I had my Ugg boots, my socks and flipping jumper because it was freezing cold. Went through America, freezing cold. And we get on the plane and you know what it's like. It's flipping hot, isn't it? It's a bit stifling. So I took my, got on the plane, put all the heaters come on, and I'm like, oh God, this is too hot. Take my Ugg boots and my socks off. And then we do the flight, it wasn't 24 hours, 14 hours.
Yep.
We get to New Zealand, we come home to New Zealand, and it is boiling. It's the middle of the summer here. So we get to Auckland and it's boiling. Anyway, I didn't tell you this, but we're coming through Auckland Airport.
Yeah.
And I slipped my Ugg boots on, but I didn't put my socks on. I slipped my Ugg boots on because obviously I didn't want to walk around bare feet. But as soon as I got in the car to drive back down to New Plymouth, I took my Ugg boots off again. I looked down at my feet, Bri,
Yep.
and all my toes were like, at the tips of my toes were like yellow.
Nice.
What?
Nice.
So
Got the hard skin.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Now, I don't know about you, but since we've got access to Google, and at the moment, I don't know if it's my age thing or whatever, but as soon as anything happens to me, I'm on Google. Why are my toenails yellow? Why are the tips of my toenails yellow? Oh, and I was quiet on the way home on the journey.
Yeah.
When you were trying to talk to me and I was all quiet and reserved.
In the back like this.
It's because I thought I had severe diabetes. 2, it might be a complete and utter fungal infection in my toes.
I like that.
Because I was sitting there, but I was looking at my feet, they're just yellow.
Nice.
Toes, yellow. Anyway.
Frostbite.
I know, but that's when I got home and I was just like, I'd worried myself senseless at this point. You know, that's it. I'm going to have to explain to Brian that I've got diabetes. It's because I drink too much wine. You know, I don't drink enough water. My liver's packed in. That's why I've got yellow toes. And but honestly, Brian, I'm not just making this up.
Yeah.
I was actually really, really worried
You're
about
just panicking inside, don't want to tell anyone.
I was thinking,
Right. I
how am I
didn't
going
know
to tell
this.
my family that my feet are going to drop off?
Yeah.
Anyway, I get inside and Brian's like, we turn up at home and we're putting our bags in, and I reached inside my Ugg boots to take my Ugg boots out, and I found my socks.
What, your leaky yellow socks?
My leaky yellow socks. So
Little sweaty socks.
So these are a pair of yellow socks that I bought for my journey home, and because they were new and I was sweating on the plane, all the leak had come out and just in
nice.
my toes. So, Brian, I haven't
That's
got.
what happens
I
when you
haven't
get
got
them
yellow
from
toe
Walmart,
syndrome.
isn't
Yeah. So I just thought, sure, everything's fine. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I haven't got a fungal toe infection.
Oh.
Just in case you're watching Nice Man on the aeroplane, you just, I'm safe. Oh, okay. Well, that was that. That was our trip back from America. We hope you enjoyed those stories. And like I say, don't believe everything you hear. Wherever you're traveling to, our 24 hours in America, it was fun. It was
we
so
had a great
welcoming.
time. We did.
We love you, America. We love you, Canada. We had such a great time over there. We're back in New Zealand now, so we'll be bringing you more content from New Zealand. But just to let you know, that was our time in the USA.
Yeah. So, like we say, it's all isolated, and it does happen. Things happen everywhere in the world, But we try and focus on the good stuff.
We do,
and that's what it's
we
all
like
about.
to see the positive in countries, and we certainly saw that in America. So until next time, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. We appreciate your comments, for your subscribing to our channel and just commenting and saying hi. Thank you so much. Until next time, I will speak to you soon.
Yeah, so kia kaha, stay strong, kia u, stay true, and we'll see you on the next one.
Okay.
See you now.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello.
Why would anyone leave the hot summer of New Zealand to come and stay in Canada in the middle of winter? Well, let us tell you why. Today we bring you this podcast from beautiful British Columbia, where we are staying for a month house swapping and have decided to do a podcast episode from the chairlift in the middle of the ski resort to tell you why we're in Canada, what we think of Canada, and everything in between. This is the other thing we were worried about. You know how where you go somewhere when you're younger and you build it up in your mind, and like, you're like, oh, we were so happy there and everything was just great. So what did you think of it when you came back? Was it? So let's get on that ski lift and find out just what British Columbia has in store. Ooh, hang on.
Nice day.
The ski pass look really cool.